Hey everybody, it's your girl, the Blue Empress. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing spectacular because I am. So, if you all are not familiar with my whole life in itself, you guys are in for a real good treat tonight because on my Instagram, I have made the announcement that I am going to be doing a special edition on my web show, Blues World, and it's called The Origin of Blue. Now, the reason I said it's a special edition because I've always wondered if my fans wanted to know, how did I get the name Blue? How did it become such a phenomenon in my life? So I just thought that I would just share it with you and just bring you guys into the phenomenon known as Blue, and how it is so important to me, and how it is adapted into my life, and how it just makes me feel, and how I use it in my life just to just make me happy in the sense. You clearly see that I have on my blue Chicago bracelet. I have blue rings. I painted my nails blue. Of course, I have my Made in Chicago shirt that I got customized out in Chicago. So I figured that it was only fitting that I wear blue, because it wouldn't make any sense if I wore any other color than blue to tell you the origin of blue. Just to let you know, if you guys hear any little footsteps or big stomps, that's my 4-year-old daughter. I was trying to put her to sleep before I did this video. Obviously, that didn't work, so I had to go and put on her show, Monica Toy, in our room just for her to sit down, and hopefully she'll fall asleep. But with that being said, enough talking, enough chit-chatting, whatever. Let's get into the story. Now, I'm going to basically start off when I went to go live with my auntie and her children. To make a long story short, me and my father had our ups and downs. I snuck my boyfriend in the house when he wasn't at home because not my husband, because my dad was working 2 jobs, and he caught me numerous times. So fast forward to him sending me to live with his sister and her 9 kids. And apparently, no matter what the fuck I said, it did not matter. She let her anger consume her because of everything that I did to my father. So it's just, with me, I had to just sit there and just take whatever she was saying to me. I could not retort. I could not say a damn thing because I had nothing to pretty much just give back to say to her. I couldn't. There was nothing I could say to her. So I wound up going to live with her and her family out in Atlanta, Georgia. They were actually right directly across the street from Six Flags over Georgia. Ain't that ironic? Let me just tell you this. There were certain children of hers that I did not get along with. I only got along with the oldest, her firstborn. Just to throw that out there. She's the only one that I get along with, even still to this day. The rest of them I did not have a good relationship with. And may I remind you, some of them were little children. I'm not going to say the babies, I didn't get along with them. I love my baby cousins. You know, it was the ones that had a damn mouth on them and think they was grown. I thought what I did was wrong, but my gosh, they got a mouth. They have a mouth. Let me just tell you this, man. There were days I just wanted to legitimately just run away again. I did. But I knew in the back of my head, if I even took a step out and ran off in any direction, I would have been caught. Either way, that was my whole mindset at the time. And to add insult to injury, the whole family knew what the fuck I did. Let me put it to you like this. My dad was social media before social media, okay? Whatever I did, he told whomever with a listening ear what the fuck I did. It did not matter who it was. It could be a damn stranger off the street for all I care. It could have been a co-worker at his job, but he told whomever had a listening ear what I did. So imagine me as a kid. No, sorry, not as a kid, as a teenager, going to every damn relative house on my dad's side of the family and hearing them interrogate me like I'm a fucking criminal for what I did to my father. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to say. I did it. He wasn't at home. He was at work. I was bored. Why can't I fucking have fun? I even asked him if I can go outside. I couldn't even go outside. I had to stay in the motherfucking house. If I'm done doing my homework, then what the fuck you want me to do? You want me to just sit on my ass and watch TV all day? Why couldn't I go outside and be with my friends? Oh, because your dad was trying to protect you and da-da-da-da-da. There's a difference between protection and allowing your child to go outside and interact with their friends. I did not have friends that set a bad influence on me whatsoever. None whatsoever. I didn't hang out with gangsters and thugs and drug dealers and, bank robbers and stuff. That wasn't my forte. I had friends that had my similarities. Okay? That's what it was. I had friends that had my similarities. I had friends that had a lot in common with me. They were good people. They never set a bad influence on me. Hell, if anything, I probably set a bad influence on them with my crazy ass. But they loved me regardless. But it was never like that. But I guess my dad's whole mindset was not like that. The fact that I was the only child and then I'm a girl, that was a double whammy in itself. Because I guarantee you, if I was a boy, it would not have went down the way it did. I can tell you that right now. But then again, it probably would. I'm just throwing a theory out there. I could be wrong. But the fact that I'm a girl and I was the only child, that like I said, double whammy. So I couldn't stand living with her. Because now everyone on my dad's side of the family knew what the fuck I did. I had a relative smack me probably about 5-10 times in my face because of what I did to my dad, and amongst other things. Slapped me so damn hard, I pissed myself. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I pissed myself because I got slapped. Bam, 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 bam. Red in the dang on face. Because of what I did to my dad. Screw me. So imagine the thoughts going through my motherfucking head. Imagine how I'm feeling. Why am I here? I'm everyone's punching bag right now because of what I did to my dad. My dad was the victim. I was the criminal, and I needed to be punished. If they had it their way, they probably would have created a fucking electric chair and killed me instantly. And at that time, people, I wish they would have did that. That was back then, not now, but that was back then how I was feeling. That was my whole mindset because I figured I was never going to get the fuck out of this shit. I was going to be with this doggone woman until God knows when. And I think I was probably about 15, 16 years old when all this was going down. All because I disobeyed my dad by bringing people in the house when he was not home. It wasn't a party. I didn't have a party. There wasn't any alcohol or anything. It was just me and my friends just talking and watching TV and cracking up. That's all it was. I got 4 kids myself, so I have to think differently, but that's another story. So my aunt obviously was a church-going woman at the time. So there were times when I had to go to church with her. She didn't force her other children to go, but sure hell made sure I went. I had another auntie, God rest her soul, that attended this church. And I didn't know anybody at this church. Family members, friends, nobody. This was my auntie's church. So while I was there were 2 guys that was into me. And I'm going to say, like I said, I use nicknames. So Ryder was one of them. Ryder was that guy that basically when I first looked at him, I was like, okay, this guy is a jock of some sort in high school or whatever, because there is no way in hell that he would be interested in my black ass. Like, no way in hell. That's a joke. And, what should I call the other guy? You know what? I'm going to call him Carter because his real name does start with a C, whatever, but I'm going to call him Carter. So Ryder and Carter, whatever you want, how you want to put it, they both had a crush on me. So I was like, I do not need this right now. I am already in fucking nightmare hell right now with my aunt because of what I did to her brother. And the last thing that I want is for the family to go gossiping about, oh, now Denise sitting over here getting these boys to fall for her. Don't get me in any more trouble than I already am right now. But my aunt didn't have an issue with these two because the fact that they went to church. So she didn't have a problem with me going to having these two gentlemen into me at the time. Now, at the time, my heart belonged to my man. So I'm just going to leave it at that with that one. But me and him were not in a relationship. We were separated. So we were free to see and date and be with whomever we wanted to be with. If it was meant for us to be together, then okay. If it wasn't, then so be it. Whatever. We'll remain whatever. So here I am, these two guys just into me or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is a joke. This is a fucking joke. Like someone's gonna come jumping out the bushes to say, gotcha. You really think they was into you? You down. Apparently it wasn't a joke because they were dead serious. Carter was doing everything in his power to get my attention and to make sure that Ryder did not have any type of minute nor second with me. Little did he not realize that Ryder made his moves. And it was not of a sexual nature, so get your minds out the gutter. It was not of a sexual nature. Me and Ryder, it was never ever like that with me and him. Actually, he cared. He actually got me. I felt free. I felt like I was able to escape, the madness that was going on where I was and whatnot in the situation that I was in. Ryder provided that for me, and I will forever be grateful for that, for him. So thank you, Ryder. Yay. And yes, we did date. Yes, we did. We were in a relationship, but unfortunately, things changed because he went off to college study. But it was just wow for me with living with my aunt and her kids. It was just a wreck. And there were times where she whooped me with the belt where I had black and blue marks on my freaking body. And I had to stay home from school because the marks were visible. Oh, but she made sure she didn't hit my back. Yeah, I'll tell you guys that story too one day about my back. To tell you the reason why she had to be careful when hitting my back. Let's just say she would have probably paralyzed me if she even struck my back in a hard manner. So, years gone by, I'm still living with this auntie of mine. I'm still living with the 9 kids. So, I've went from a charter school that I could not stand as far as I can fucking throw. I had to wear a uniform, yellow and brown, shit and piss, call it what you want. I got bullied, so that wasn't really, good thing in my department. I was in a relationship with someone, but he apparently was seeing somebody else, and I wound up breaking up with him and going with someone else. And obviously that didn't work out for the simple fact that I wound up getting transferred to another school in Taylor, Michigan, John F. Kennedy High School. So I was ecstatic to be back at Kennedy because that's where all the fun began. So years gone by, whatever. I'm in, Kennedy. I'm living in Brownstown at the time. I'm having a blast with my friends. I went to my homecoming. I went to my talent show. I actually participated in my talent show. And I went to my prom. So I went to the 2 main, special events ever in your life. And no, I never had a sweet 16 either. Even if that were the case. And I got a 14-year-old daughter today, so ain't no telling what the hell's going to happen in years' time when that happens. So, bet y'all wondering, okay, Blue, this is getting a little boring. When you going to get to the good part? It's not when. It's now. Sit back and relax because this is about to get good. So, my dad had a heart attack and he wasn't really in good shape. So, of course, I felt bad and I kind of, blamed myself for him with the heart attack because, I felt like I contribute to it because of the crap that I was pulling, whatever. And of course, you all know that wasn't my fault, whatever. My dad wasn't taking care of himself, health wise. So that's how that wound up happening. So I was on birth control. Yes, I had to. My aunt made sure that I was on birth control because she wasn't having it. And considering what I did to my dad, she wasn't going to take any risks. So one day I woke up and I tapped my cousin and said that, can you please pick me up from the health clinic when you pick up your siblings and your nieces and whatnot. And she said, yeah. She went like this and was like, yeah. And I knew she was up. So I know she heard me. So I went to school. And when school was out, I walked to the clinic. And for those of you who have been to Kennedy, who know how the whole, map of Kennedy, there's a football field. And then if you keep going straight, there's a gate that ironically had a hole. And I went through. And then there's this street. I forgot what the name of the street is, but it's a nice little street. And then you keep walking up the street. And then you got Myers. And then you have the Southland Mall. And you got Target. So I pretty much just went through. I pretty much just went through. And I walked up the street. And I walked down a little further. And there was the Henry Ford Clinic. I was going there to get on my birth control, whatever. So I go into the office expecting to get seen to get my birth control. And they told me that they couldn't give it to me because I didn't have health insurance. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm on my dad's health insurance. Come to find out, I think at that time, I think they might have let my dad go, if I'm not mistaken, or something around then. I think it was the time. Let him go because of the heart attack and whatnot. So he didn't have health insurance. So I didn't know that. So I felt stupid. So I'm sitting here going to different places, trying to use the phone to call my cousin to have her come and pick me up. So I'm sitting here waiting and I'm waiting. I only had probably like $2 and some change on me to get me something to eat and something to snack on, which I think was like pop and some cookies or something. And on top of that, it was raining. And I didn't even have a coat. Just had on my blue jeans and like a blue, white, yellow collar jersey. So I'm waiting. Still ain't coming. Waiting again. Still ain't coming. So I walked over to the mall, just to warm up, whatever, and just walk around the mall, whatever. She still didn't come. So I went to call her again. She's not answering the phone or whatever. She's just not answering the phone. So it's nightfall now. So I'm trying to figure out, well, what the fuck am I going to do? So I called my aunt and told her what was going on. And I think I heard someone in the background, whether it was my auntie or I think it was my auntie, to tell you the truth. Leave her out there, that's what she gets. Leave me out here, that's what she gets. You fucking kidding me? So I hung up the phone. I called my dad. At this time, my dad was still living in Taylor at our old place in Westminster. And I called him and asked him, can I just sit on the porch of our home until he got off work. And he said no. So people, you know how you let so much anger build up inside of you to where you just want to vomit it out? Well, that's what happened to me. That's what the fuck happened to me. I had all this rage, all this hurt. I felt like Goku getting mad when he's about to release all his power. Kamehameha. That's how I felt. That's the only best description I can give you. That's how I felt. Because once I released it, I got angry. I went from sad to anger instantly. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going back where I was. I'm not going to go back. I said, screw that shit. I'm not going back. And I told myself, and this was just a thought, if this is God's way of saying it's my time now, I'm going to take advantage of it. So I wound up getting a ride to a friend's house in Detroit. And I wound up partying with him and his boys. I was drinking. I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes. I did not give a damn anymore. I was angry. My real personality, the real me, was coming out of me. It's been released. Because throughout the whole time that I've been around certain members of my family, I had to pretend to be something I wasn't because it made them feel more comfortable. But if I acted like how I am today, it would have embarrassed them and offended them. And I was tired of that. That's why I said it was building up. It was like my real personality was getting built up inside of me. And this other facade that I had put on was just like trying to keep it in. But after what happened, it just came out. And damn it, people, I felt good. I felt great. I felt empowered. It wasn't even funny. I just was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. That's just me. I didn't care. I had fun. I was able to do whatever the hell I wanted to do. And at that time, I was 18 years old. I was able to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And it felt great. It did. Now, I did call my cousin, the one I only got along with out of her 9 kids. Shame, isn't it? You know, I let her know, hey, I'm alive. I'm cool. Whatever. And I hung up the phone. Then she called back. And I told my friend, don't tell her I was here. Tell her that I asked to use your phone, but I dipped out. I'm not here. And she did. So I stayed with my friend for a while. But then my friend's sister started to feel uneasy. I'm like, why? I guess she was afraid that she would have gotten into some type of trouble. Sorry, my chair is acting stupid. I guess she felt like possibly my cousins or someone might come out there looking for me. Because one of my cousins at the time was dating my friend's other friend. So I was like, okay, you know what? Give me the phone and I'm going to make a phone call. Because I told her I had a relative that lived in another city. It wasn't a lie, I did. But there was also somebody else that lived there that I would prefer to be with. Lo and behold, it was my man. I called him and I said, can I please come over? I need to talk to you about something. I had her drop me off over to his house. She drove off. And I was with my man. And I told him what happened. I told him what was going on. He went in the other room where his mother was, told her what was popping. And I wound up staying with him and his mom. So the fact that I was 18 years old at the time, that's why she wasn't concerned. Now, mind you, the only clothes that I had was the clothes that I got left stranded in. They got washed and everything, but those were the only forms of clothing that I had that was mine. So the whole while I'm wearing my man's clothes. Don't get me wrong. His clothes was fly. And he had the drawstring pants so I can fit them the way that I see fit so they don't fall off my ass. You know, and his shirts were baggy enough and I liked that, so I was cool. I was well taken care of. And I had a roof over my head. I wasn't out in the streets sleeping in abandoned buildings and whatnot. I was taken care of. Now, when I went to school, like I said, whole new attitude now. Whole new attitude. Anger. I felt like the character Raphael. I just wanted to hurt people and ask questions later, and I just did not care about the consequences anymore. I was just angry. But I was angry at the people that I should have been angry with. I didn't go to school and take my anger and frustration out on, just anybody, just for funsies. That wasn't what it was. Now all of a sudden, my father is calling my school. Trying to look for me. Well, I don't know if look for me or trying to talk to me or whatever. So they kept taking me out of my classes just because he called wanting to talk to me. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck he got to talk to me for? What does he want? Because the last time I checked, when I asked him, can I sit on the porch? You told me no. I'm out here on the damn street some doggone where, and anything could have happened to me. And all I did was ask, could I sit on the porch until you got off work? And you told me no. So as far as I'm concerned, you didn't give a damn about me or my well-being. So what's up? You should be thrilled that I am no longer within your sight, let alone your life. I disappeared, vanished, I'm gone. So I'm asking him, well, what do you want? There's nothing to talk about. I have nothing to say to you. You have nothing to say to me. So why talk? There's nothing to say. We are done. Then my counselor was trying to get involved in the situation. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know diddly squat what's going on between me and this man right now. You just don't know. I've done some things that I'm not proud of. But the decision that he made on his own was worse. Is how that was. Then come to find out, I was this close to not graduating on time. And you know why? I missed days of school because there was nobody at home to be with my little cousins. Let me just say this. I did not have any kids at this time. None of these kids were mine. These were my cousin's kids, not mine. I was just the cousin, not the auntie, not the godmother, not the grandma. Cousin. That's it. Nothing more. The cousin. But I wound up being the one to stay behind because nobody was going to be at home to get my cousins. So I wound up having to be the one to stay back. My teacher, Miss Earp, if ever she come across this video, I hope and pray to God that I can get back in touch with you again. She sat down with me and wrote, I don't know how many pages it was. I don't know if it was 2 pages or 4, but she wrote a letter to the Taylor Board of Education to get me to graduate. And what do you know? It got approved. And I was able to graduate that year. And yes, my aunt and my dad kept trying to get in touch with me, and I kept blowing them off. Let me tell you how my whole demeanor was back then. I didn't care anymore. I didn't. The love that I once had in my heart at that time was gone toward people that did me dirty. I know what I did was dirty to my dad. But the thing the matter is this. Nobody gave a damn about my well-being. So as far as I'm concerned, if anything happened to me, what y'all gonna do? Throw all the blame on me? But I'm the one that called you guys to come and get me. Y'all never came. So as far as I'm concerned, y'all don't give a shit about me. Then I don't give a shit about you. I'ma do me, you do you. Don't bother me and I won't bother you. So what's popping? So graduation comes. I had tickets, but I wasn't going to give it to my family. I was just going to give them to my friends and just say to hell with it. No, I get a phone call from another auntie of mine. Yeah, I have a lot of aunties. I'm sorry. Wanting me to bring the tickets over to her job, which was directly next door to where my mother-in-law, now she's my mother-in-law, but where my man and his mother lived at. And I told her, you invite your sister, I'm going to cause all types of hell, all type of rage, all type of chaos if you invite her. And I swear on my life, you bet not. So graduation day comes. I'm with my friends and my homies and everything. I'm cool. Even my man was graduating, but he went to Truman. But my graduation went first and his went second. Mind you, the whole duration, I had to wear some type of blue of any sort on me. So I wasn't called Blue. Everyone was still calling me. People was calling me Denise, Niecy, Hershey's, Reese's. I mean, it was just, trust me, I had all kind of nicknames growing up. It was just wow. So to me, I went from being depressed to being enlightened about a lot of things. Because I'm like, I wonder who the hell came to my graduation, and it better not be somebody I don't want to be around. So I look in the far right corner when I'm on the stage. I see my dad, my future stepmother at the time, my Uncle Anthony, my favorite uncle, my Auntie Josie, God rest her soul, and my future step grandma. So yeah, so I wasn't even thrilled at the fact that my dad was there. I just wasn't. Because the fact that he did not allow me to sit on the porch the day that I was stranded. So I'm thinking to myself, why the hell was he here? So graduation is over. Everyone want to get pictures and everything, whatever. And my dad is trying to figure out what's wrong with me. I said, I'm not telling you anything. This is my day and you ain't going to ruin it. I don't need to tell you jack. But it seemed no matter where I went, somebody was with me. Like they weren't going to let me out their sight. Like they ain't already let me out their sight. They're not going to let it happen again. So they took me to Red Robin's. My choice. You will not believe how awkward it was to be in the presence of my dad. Just don't know it. I see you. Supposed to be asleep. My 4-year-old. So there was I couldn't go anywhere. I swear, I felt like they had me on an invisible leash. And if I even took a few steps in front, they would yank me back just to make sure I didn't go out of range. So after we get done eating that Red Robin's, whatever, I'm riding in the car with my stepmom. And she's talking to me and whatnot. And then she told me that my dad was not going to come to my graduation at first, that she had to convince him. She had to talk him into coming to my graduation. Well, damn. I pissed him off that bad at the time that he was not going to see me graduate. Do you know how many high schoolers don't graduate from high school? Do you know how many high schoolers do not take high school seriously? Their schoolwork, their academics, any of that? No, obviously not. But I did. I enjoyed my high school years. I had some great times in high school. I did my schoolwork. I took my academics seriously. Hell, I wanted to go to college. I was dead serious, dead straight. But he wasn't going to come to my graduation because I pissed him off that bad. So I looked at it like this. I'm like, well, you should have just left him alone. If he didn't want to come, he didn't have to come. That's just me. You can't tell a grown ass man what to do. I can't tell my husband what to do. I can't. I mean, you can make a suggestion, and it's clearly up to them whether or not they're going to take your advice or not, but you can't force them to listen to you. You can't force them to go to a party. You can't force them to go to, to any type of special event that they're not interested in. I'm just saying. But I pissed him off that bad, people, that he was not going to come to my graduation. It took my stepmother to convince him to go. So, of course, that infuriated me more. And you're probably wondering, well, Denise, you said you didn't want to have anything to do with him. I did. But remember, there was a little piece of me that wanted him to be there. Little piece. But the fact that he was like, like, not at all. I went from 0 to 100 real quick. So she winds up taking me back to my auntie's house with the 9 kids to get my stuff. And I wanted someone to say something to me. I was waiting for someone to open their mouth and say something to me. Because I was going to pop off. First of all, I'm an adult. I can say whatever the hell I want to say. I was waiting for someone to say something to me. I wanted to pop off so bad. I told you. The real me was out. And it wasn't going back in. It was permanent. Permanent. It's not coming back in. It's staying out. So I got my stuff. Auntie gave me a nice little frame and a, graduation teddy bear. I really just wanted to take that teddy bear and just squeeze the head off and pop it off, rip it, and just throw it at her, but I didn't do that. Actually, still to this day, I still have that bear. I let my kids play with it. Don't worry, the head's still intact. So, got my stuff. I didn't go back. I didn't have to go back to that hellhole anymore. I have to go back there no more. Not anymore. I was done. So then we go back to Westminster. I'm like, oh great, I feel like we're going back to the scene of the damn crime. So we all sitting down in my dad's room upstairs. I don't know why. It would have been best if we was in the living room, but whatever. And mind you, my stepmother is crying. Not my dad. My stepmom is crying. Saying she wished she would have known that I had called. Because when I was stranded, then she would have, dropped everything, whatever, and asked if she can come and, get me or whatever. First of all, that was not her responsibility, and I never blamed her. That's one. Never blamed her. My dad, on the other hand, was a different story because it's like, what if somebody would have killed me or, snatched me up and you would have never saw me again? Oh, well, wait a minute. I guess you really wouldn't give it 2 shits at the time because I pissed you off that bad. So if anything, it would have just been all hunky-dory for you. Yeah, people, that's what I was thinking at the time when this was all going down. Because that's how much anger I had in me. That's how much sarcasm was coming out of my mouth. That's how much I felt at the time. So then she made a suggestion that I live with her, my dad, get a job, go to school. And I was like, If there is one thing that you are not going to do, is tell me how to live my life and what to do when it comes to my life. That's my decision alone. Now, I done just got freed from living with my dad's sister and her family. I am not finna have anyone else dictate my life but me. My turn. This is my life. God gave me this life, and I'm gonna be damned if y'all try to sit over here and direct it. Ain't happening like that. So I told them, no, take me back to where I was because I was happy. And that was back at my man's house and his mother's house. And they dropped me off. Of course, my dad didn't stay there too long. He looked around, whatever. He was, outside the door. He just, looked inside the apartment and he went back downstairs, sat in the car. My stepmother, on the other hand, voiced her opinion on, my mother-in-law having me and her son living together and whatnot. So, of course, this is my mother-in-law. She was playing this like little blackjack game and she's laying on the couch. And she's literally like going like this. She's like, yeah, I hear you. So after my stepmother walks out, my mother-in-law does this like exorcist head turn. She was like, who the fuck is that? And I told her, like, that's my soon-to-be stepmom. My dad's gonna marry her in a few months at the time, I guess. She was like, I know this bitch ain't trying to tell me what the fuck to do in my own house. Something along them lines. All I know is she cracked me up. Okay? She cracked me up when she said that. So that would be part 1 of this story. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a good portion of this story and whatever. I'm just still gonna call it The Origin of Blue. This is just part 1 of it. But yeah, people, I went through a lot of shit as a teenager, and it was just, there were good times, but I think I had more bad times than I did good. That's just my opinion of the nature. And and just looking back on everything that I've did, I wish I could have handled situations differently. I do, because now I'm an adult. I'm a mother now. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. And I have to come to the realization here that, God forbid if my kids did any of the things that I did. I can't necessarily, jump down their throat. I have to think like, well, wait a minute, I did this too. And I don't want them to go down the same path as I did. But please believe me, if ever I have issues with my kids, I'm not sending my kids off. They're going to stay with mommy and daddy. That's just how it goes. We're not going to rely on anyone, to discipline our kids. It doesn't work that way. So I am hoping and praying to the heavens that they don't do any of the things that I've done in my teen years. I really hope and pray to God they don't. I hope they do find someone that, will love them and cherish them and treat them right and give them a good life. I do hope and wish and pray for that. But as far as with me, people, oh my goodness, it was ridiculous. And I can look at my life now and just be like, you know what? I'm alive. I'm blessed. I have a beautiful family. So as far as I'm concerned, I ain't got nothing else more to think about. But this is only part 1 of The Origin of Blue. I just gave you guys the first part. So the second part is going to be probably even way more better than the first part of this. Because the second part, it's going to be pretty much my life, my brand new life moving forward into me blossoming into this blue empress. So until then, I will see you guys next week. Love you. Tune in to part 2 of The Origin of Blue. Stay royal. Bye.